But in the end, Jaylen Brown, be careful what you wish for. You really want me to start reporting on that level? You understand? Locker room? How the organization might think about you? How the city may feel about you? How Jason Tatum may or may not have feel about you? Sneaker deals, endorsement deals, the list goes on and on. The season is over, bro. You on Twitch, trying to do what I do, and talking about me needing to step away. It makes no sense.
All right, so in today's video, we've got to break down the reaction coming from Stephen A. Smith after everything that went down with Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown just went completely off on Jaylen Brown, calling out Stephen A. Smith in a way nobody really saw coming. He even took it live on his stream, straight up cursed out Stephen A. Smith, saying F Stephen A. Smith.
Fuck Stephen A. Stephen A, Stephen B, Stephen C. Like, my offer still stands.
And here's the wild part. Stephen A. Smith actually came right back on First Take and addressed the whole situation. And I just want to break down what he said real quick. So listen, we're about to run through what Stephen A. Smith had to say because he basically sent a straight up warning to Jaylen Brown. Pretty much he was saying, look, I can mess up everything you've built in Boston. I can mess up your relationship with Jason Tatum. I can mess up your relationship with the front office and ownership, and even your connection with the fans in the city. So are you really sure you want to take it this far with me? What are you doing here? So yeah, that's Stephen A. Smith basically putting that warning out there to Jaylen Brown in the most direct way possible. Now, hold up, let's actually pull up that clip right here and see it for ourselves. And after that, we'll jump right back into the breakdown and deeper commentary. And real quick, if you're enjoying the breakdown so far, go ahead and hit that like button for me. It genuinely helps push the video out and support the channel more than you think. I really do appreciate every single one of you for tapping in and showing love. All right, thank you, and let's keep it moving.
But in the end, Jaylen Brown, be careful what you wish for. You really want me to start reporting on that level? You understand? Locker room? How the organization might think about you? How the city may feel about you? How Jason Tatum may or may not have feel about you? Sneaker deals, endorsement deals, the list goes on and on. The season is over, bro. You on Twitch, trying to do what I do, and talking about me needing to step away. It makes no sense. I'm not being disrespectful. I'm simply making the point that it is not wise, after 24 hours of having your season over in the first round, for you to be coming out talking about that's your favorite season. It ain't the smartest thing in the world to do. I wasn't trying to be disrespectful. I was trying to sit up there and look out by letting you know this is not a good look. It's not wise. That's all. And I would have respected Jaylen Brown more, Big Perk, Jay, had he come at y'all, had he come at everybody who said exactly what I was saying. But evidently, you understand, when you're talking about clickbait and all of that stuff, somebody told you one of the best ways to get it is to bring up my name. And that's what you did. So who's really looking for clickbait? Is it me or is it you? And obviously, you would think you wouldn't need it. $304 million, NBA player. You don't need it. What you doing it for? Before I even get into it, could you do me a favor, please? Get your ass a studio. You looking like you in some dungeon, some little room or whatever. You making $54 million a year. You're gonna make 57 next year, 61 the year after that, 67 the year after that. You're in the midst of a $304 million contract. Get a studio with a director and a producer. Calling up clips of mine, the computer ain't even working right, can't even get the full sound up in there. Get that together. That's number one. Stop being so damn cheap. You got the money. Pay it, okay, for a better production. Number one. Number two, I'm not going to disrespect Jaylen Brown. It's amazing to me, Jay, Big Perk, Shay, how Perk said all the things he said, you said all the things you said, Wilbon said all the things he said. Everybody said something, and I went on, I've spoken on it on numerous occasions, and you picked some 20-second clip of me talking about how Jason Tatum showed up on First Take, but not your podcast. Stop it. I'm not going to get into all of that. Was Jaylen Brown bringing up the fact that I wasn't reporting when I was raving about him all season long? when I was talking about him for the most of this season as a top 2 league MVP candidate, when I was pissed off and I raised holy hell on the air when he got ejected from the San Antonio Spurs game and he didn't deserve that, when I talked about him leading the pack and doing the things that he's done and solidifying his greatness as an athlete, did he complain then? Did he complain when how many times that we can't even count when I talked about the brilliance of this young man, his philanthropy in the community, the kind of things that he's done, and I've been raving about that all of these years. Did he complain about my reporting then? No, he did not. When I made news years ago and I was talking about how it's not fair to him, but because he is smart, because he doesn't suffer fools, because he will speak his mind, etc., it's alienating some people on Madison Avenue and beyond, which is why he doesn't necessarily have a sneaker deal and he doesn't get the advertising dollars and has the marketing muscle of, say, somebody like his teammate Jason Tatum. Do you know that I spoke about that and he came to the finals wearing his t-shirt to show me your sources, or to the playoff game rather, show me, to tell us your source or whatever the case may be? You know what? There was no question that I was right. You know, and the bottom line is that his own family came up to me in Dallas and thanked me for talking about him the way that I did, because they recognized the fact that I was showing him respect, not disrespect, okay? He won the Eastern Conference Finals MVP, most valuable player. He won the NBA Finals, MVP, or, most valuable player award. All of this other stuff. Was he complaining then? No. But here he is complaining now. Why? Because he's pointing the finger in the wrong direction. Point it at yourself, bro. Let's recap.
So that's basically what Stephen A. Smith came out and said, man. Clearly sending a warning straight in the direction of Jaylen Brown. And as I said before, you gotta understand the tone here, because Stephen A. Smith is talking in a way that's basically like, listen, I'm about to completely ruin everything you've built. I'm talking about your relationships, your teammates, and even the front office connections. I'm talking your income, your endorsements, all of it on the line, and that's how I would have personally taken it if I were Jaylen Brown, no exaggeration. Then on top of that, Stephen A. Smith doubled down and kind of hyped himself up, saying things like, you trying to do what I do, you trying to be me, go get better, get your own studio, you're a $54 million guy, basically that whole energy he always brings. So yeah, that's the situation right now, and I actually want to show you more of what Jaylen Brown said later on in his stream, especially for people who didn't catch the full thing I posted earlier, because it gets even more interesting when you hear his full reaction and why Stephen A. Smith is really in his feelings here.
My offer still stands. You want me to be quiet and stop streaming? Well, I want you to be quiet and get off these networks. Because you're not using your platform to do real journalism. You're using your platform to use clickbait, tell this motherfucker to retire, because he's the face of clickbait media at the point. And maybe with his retirement, we could spark a movement to get the rest of these motherfuckers out of here, or to also have some type of forget journalistic integrity, actual integrity, in order to hold themselves accountable to the bullshit takes they put out with no basis, no bias, no information, just narrative, just for the sake of just pushing a weak narrative, just purely out of that. I'll give it up. I'll pass streaming. I'll sign some streamers or some shit. I'll you know what I mean? It ain't a big deal. Y'all ain't never heard from me before this. Think about it. I don't do no media, no podcasts. I don't do none of that. I barely post on social media. But the fact is that my obligation is to, as an athlete, I'm obligated to speak to the media. It's my job. Like, he thinks the media is his job, and so is it's my job too. It's in my contract. If I do not speak to the media, then I will be fined. So when they use that comparison where it's my job, it's your job to play basketball, it's also my job to speak to the media. It is also my job to speak to the media. I get fined if I don't.
All right, so that's gonna wrap things up for today's video, and I just wanted to bring y'all that moment of Jaylen Brown going directly at Stephen A. Smith. And as I said earlier, this isn't even the first time we've seen Jaylen Brown check Stephen A. Smith over how things are being reported or talked about. And honestly, when it comes to that kind of pressure, you already know Jaylen Brown is the type to stand firm and not back down from what he believes in. So I want to hear from y'all now. Drop your thoughts down in the comments and let me know where you stand on this whole situation involving Stephen A. Smith and Jaylen Brown. Don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed the breakdown, and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next update. I appreciate you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. We out. Peace.